TS6, a helping hand with your land.
Neil from Messick here, out today with the New Holland TS6.100 dual power. Gonna walk you around this machine today and explain to you a little bit about specialty tractors and some of the unique applications that we stock machines for. If you go through New Holland's product line, you'll find you move from tractors like T4 to T5, T6, T7, T8. They keep on going up and up in that series, but this one is a TS, and that should tell you that it's a little bit different than the rest. New Holland targets this product line towards specialty kind of economy applications where a traditional farm tractor would work but may not be optimized for particular chores. So this is what we call our Municipal Special. We actually stock a particular configuration of this machine that we feel really excels in applications like highway mowing, municipal mowing, that kind of work that you'll generally see done by townships and that kind of stuff. So you see tractors in all kinds of places. So we're gonna walk around this machine here and show you a couple of things that we feel really tailor this machine for those kind of jobs. So generally when we go into a municipal application, we're going into bid type situations where we need to be very, very cost competitive. We can't be selling an expensive high spec tractor where one is not needed. So there's a handful of places where this tractor is, say, kind of economy oriented for its size, but also at the same time, surprisingly deluxe. So two places that I'm going to say that's a little bit more economy is going to be in the size of the cab. When you look here at the interior space that I have here and the amount of glass around me, this cab is smaller than a lot of the other tractors. It is about the same size cab that we're going to have on a T5 or a big T4 series tractor, not the same amount of interior volume that you would have in a T6 sized machine. So if I was going to go, say, into a farming application where I need to be finding places in here to put things like baler monitors, I just don't have a whole lot of options in order for places to do that. That said, it is not a inexpensive cheap cab, right? So we still have high vis panels that'll pop open to give you some additional ventilation if you're not running the air conditioner. The gap across here between my windshield and high vis panel is really small, so it gives me a great forward look outside of the tractor. I've got an air ride seat, so smaller cab, but not necessarily a cheap cab. The transmission here is another place that is a little bit less than what we normally would see in a T6 sized tractor. So no power shift in this machine. This is 4 speeds on the main shifter with a mechanical 2, with another mechanical 2 on top, or hydraulic 2 on top of that. So that gives this tractor 4 ranges with 4 gears. So a lot of flexibility there. The cool thing is the second range that's on top of there is hydraulically shifted. So the one 2x2, you've got to stop and shift the tractor. The other one you can shift on the go. So go back to, say, our highway mowing application again. If we're going along the side of a roadway and we've got a nice straight open shot in front of us and we want a little bit more speed, instead of having to stop and shift a synchronized gear, but not a gear that's not under power, you can simply bump a little button here to give yourself that little extra road speed that you want. Another configuration option that you can get in a TS series tractor is actually 2-wheel drive. That option has gone away from a lot of machines now, but this is one place in this specialty market where you can still find it. So if you have an application for a fairly good size, higher horsepower tractor with a simple transmission and you want 2-wheel drive, you can save that significant chunk of change for opting with an unpowered front axle. When we go around to the back of the tractor, again, you find a lot of things back here that for an economy machine are awfully deluxe. So you have a control back here in order to be able to manipulate your 3-point hitch control and move these arms up and down while you're standing on the back of the machine. Also extendable link arms back here to make hooking up your 3-point hitch implements easier. 2 rear remotes, lighting connectors back here, an external lift cylinder to give a little bit more oomph to the 3-point hitch, and a drawbar back here on the rear. If you go through this and said, what back here is economy? Gosh, not a whole lot. It looks like an awfully deluxe tractor to me. So we're gonna go for a drive here in the TS6.100. Like we said, New Holland generally positions this as a specialty tractor. Means there's a lot of kind of unique configurations of this machine. So you can't take everything that I necessarily say about this tractor and blanket apply it to the rest of the TS6 series tractors. So So that S, kind of defines it. This is a specialty tractor, so they make this in high clearance versions. There's some versions that have different transmission options than this. There's differences in hydraulic packages. So just be aware of that. This is one of those tractors that we want to think through application on, right? So there are different machines for different jobs. They don't make all of these models for no reason. Generally, like I said before, this is our municipal tractor, the one that we generally lean to for those guys. It's going to be geared mostly for highway mowing, a lot of mowing chores really, like running a flail along the side of a highway, pulling a batwing in a park, those kinds of things. And what makes it that, really for the most part, is its transmission. This series is kind of, it's targeted as an economy tractor, but as I sit in here and drive around, I keep on finding more things that aren't economy things and what is positioned as an economy tractor. So I'm sitting in an air ride seat. I've got a nice buddy seat, the nice ones that are used in the nice series tractors. The high-vis panel up here in the top is not the cheap Workmaster version. It's the better Power Star version with the thin gap across the high-vis. So it's got a lot of decent features. Now, generally when we're selling a tractor in this size, like a T6 size tractor, they're usually going to go into more agricultural applications, where this one is going to go to more of that municipal stuff. And kind of what makes it that is generally things like mechanical remotes. A lot of time in this size tractor, we're going to have electronic remotes. If you look across here, it's a little bit smaller cab. There's not huge options for places to mount things like bail monitors. You don't have any built-in bar here at all. There might be an optional one that could come in over here, but I don't have a whole lot of options for those kinds of things. So that's generally why we're going to go into that T6 size tractor for most of our ag guys. But if you're going out and mowing and doing chore type work, it's a lot of things to like about this tractor. The transmission that's in this is a 4 speeds on the main shifter, 2 down on the floor, and then a high-low stacked on top of that. And so it's gives you a lot of gear options, but you kind of got to think through what you're doing a little bit. So as I'm driving along here, up on my loader stick, I've got 2 buttons over here on my thumbs to go between a high and a low. So right now, for instance, I'm cruising along high range 3rd gear and low, and if I wanted a little bit more speed, say I'm mowing and I got a nice straight open shot, I can just pop the high button there and it bumps ahead and goes. I've found mixed feelings on that button. I like it in the working ranges. So when you're at lower speeds and you bump that button, it gives you a fairly smooth shift and a little bit more speed. So again, would work well for, say, that highway mowing type thing. But if you're in higher gears, so like when I'm up here in basically high range 3rd gear, when I hit that button, the shift is a little hard and the speed change a little abrupt. More than what I would probably want for, say, roading, right? I wouldn't look at that dual power thing and think, oh, this is going to help me roading when I pull out from a stop sign, because it's a little too much. But really useful down in those working ranges when you're at lower ranges and not running it high like I am right now. Over on my right-hand side over here, I've got my mechanical remotes, but I still have switches for electronic 4-wheel drive, switches for electronic diff locks, radio up here in the headliner, air conditioner controls in the pillar. So it is a nice deluxe cab on what's positioned as a specialty tractor. Thing you can laugh about in this here, so you're not going to find on every tractor. We're going to slow down here a little bit, and when we go from forward to reverse, you're going to listen. Backup beeper. So kind of interesting. You may not think through that these tractor companies actually think about applications beyond farming, but they certainly do. We sell a lot of New Holland equipment to municipal applications. PennDOT, the PA Turnpike, you're going to see a lot of our equipment running in those places. They're a big customer of ours who we support with equipment, and part of the reason why we've been able to get into those markets well is because these tractors are thought about. They're tailored for that kind of customer. It takes more than just going out and setting up a specialty machine with certain options on it. They actually are going to have to think through things like mounting frames with other suppliers. So Alamo is your major supplier of your highway mowers, and CNH and Alamo are going to get together and make sure that there are the proper mount kits for tractors to put mowers on. They're going to make sure that you can access the front end of the engine in order to put hydraulic pumps onto tractors for certain boom mowers. So those are fairly unique applications that you may not necessarily expect it, but there's a lot of engineering work that goes on between the main tractor company and the implement companies in order to make all of these things work. Because those big mowing implements, you're really surprised the toll that kind of stuff can take on a tractor. So there is like legitimate engineering effort put into machines for those specialty applications. So that's a little bit of a rundown on the New Holland TS6.100. Like I said, this is a specialty series that you're going to find a lot of different variations for very specific applications. So if you're going through considering one of these tractors, give us a call and talk to one of our sales guys. Make sure we're selling you the right tractor for what you want to do with it. So if you have parts needs for machines you already have, you got service things that we can take care of, or you're shopping for a piece of equipment, give us a call at Messick. We're available at 800-222-3373 or online at Messick.com.